Call Bill at 762-2325 and tell him about the noises your car's making, the lights that are on, or maybe you just need an inspection. Henry's Auto Repair, 1068 Park Avenue, Woonsocket. An 80% chance of showers and drizzle. Temperatures falling to around 36 degrees by 5 this afternoon. Northeast wind. Tonight, showers, patchy drizzle, and cloudy skies, overnight low of 35. Sunday, a 20% chance of actual drizzle and rain, but the cloudy skies will persist with a high of 43 degrees. Sunday night, 40% chance of more drizzle and rain, overnight low of 41. Monday, 40% chance of showers mainly in the afternoon, cloudy skies, high near 64. Monday night, 100% chance of showers and possibly a thunderstorm. Overnight could produce heavy rain with an overnight low of 41 degrees Monday night and winds gusting from the south. Tuesday, a chance of showers very early in the morning, turning mostly sunny with a high of 50. Wednesday, sunshine and 47. Thursday, 50-50 chance of rain and mostly cloudy. Next Friday, mostly cloudy skies, high near 67.
And currently outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street, we have 43 degrees on a cloudy, drizzly day. Good morning, welcome, and thank you once again for joining us in the Cheap Seats with Pat and Kevin. I'm Kevin Callahan, along with my co-host, Pat Holland. Good morning, Patrick. How are you today?
Good morning. I'm good.
Good. All right. Well, it's been
here.
Yeah, it's been a very busy sports week. Unfortunately, Pat, you and I both had the busiest week of our lives at our quote-unquote real jobs in real life, and I'm not a fan of when the real world gets in the way of my sports viewing and sports reading and all that stuff.
Yeah, especially this time of year.
Especially this time of year, there's what, a few
March Madness.
Oh, is it March Madness? Oh yeah,
yeah. Frozen Four.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Sox opening.
Yeah, it's a little bit of everything.
Free agent season, and trying to play catch up at 4:30 in the morning. Going to bed early. It's like, oh man, this is tough. So. So we have a real cool show. I think today we got our favorite party animal, Nate Tellier, joining us after the first break. Nate, for those that may not remember, joined us in studio. He's a member of the Savannah Bananas organization, and is it safe to say that he went viral last week?
I'd say he went viral. Yeah.
Just not on purpose, as a lot of the social media stuff that the Bananas does. They try to go viral.
Right.
This was a legitimate baseball play.
Legit baseball.
Yeah. If you have not seen his catch that he made last week while pitching, just look it up. It's on Cheap Seats Facebook page and all over. It was incredible. He's lucky to be not in the hospital.
Right.
That's how fast that fastball went. But let's kind of jump right into it. We got stuff on the local scene in North Smithfield. Smithfield School Committee voted unanimously last week, changed the status of the district's athletic director position from part-time to full-time. A move school officials say long been overdue. As a broadcaster of the high school football games the last few years, including North Smithfield, I agree with that move. They've had 4 athletic directors in the last 18 months. We've had Marty Crowley on. He's a Cumberland athletic director. We know how busy he is. From Attleboro, I know the athletic director there. He has a secretary. That's how busy they are. I cannot imagine having, it was 0.6, so not 0.5, like 0.6 position out of 1.0, so just over part-time. I can't imagine having a part-time athletic director with all the moving parts. So hopefully that things go a little bit smoother now for things in for all the athletes of North Attleboro. Right. With 4 athletic directors in 18 months is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, especially today's day and age with how busy it is and how, all the sports you have. So
exactly.
Over to our favorite scribe, Brendan McGear of the Blackstone Valley Times. So it looks like Tolman and Shea are going to combine their high school football team next year. They've combined some sports, but not all. Shea, this past season, had some problems with numbers, had to forfeit a game due to a number of injuries that left the team depleted. They will play Shea's schedule, which is Division II, and will play St. Ray's on Thanksgiving at Max Reed's Field.
Yeah, and we found out from Brendan actually right before the show that that St. Raphael will also play at Max Reed Field, so they're going to share the field somehow, some way. St. Ray's has their own practice field, sort of near the campus anyway. I don't know where the Pawtucket High School teams will practice, if it's going to be at Max Reed. So locally over at Bryant University, for those that do not know, not really a surprise, men's basketball coach Phil Martelli Jr. left the program, became the head coach of Virginia Commonwealth University after leading the Bulldogs to their most successful season ever. Martelli goes up the coaching ladder in terms of size and exposure to programs. Where does that leave Bryant? Bill Koch of the Providence Journal threw out 7 names yesterday as potentials. The one I think that makes the most sense is Chris Cole. He already has the title of associate head coach at Bryant. Martelli was promoted from associate head coach to head coach a few years back, so this would not be unprecedented over at Bryant. Also, you're going through it, with your daughter, going through it with my daughter. A lot of times the assistant coaches are the main recruiters anyway. So the people coming in to the Bryant University men's basketball program have already been recruited by Chris Cole,
right?
In theory. So they will be his guys if you just promote him up. So I like Chris Cole as I have no idea if he's a good basketball coach or not, but it just seems...
One would assume.
Yeah, one would assume he's pretty good.
Right.
Exactly.
And there's continuity there. I think it's probably the best step forward for the program is to maintain that, unless you had some name that jumped off, like a Rick Pitino ends up at Siena a couple of years ago, right? It's like, what are you going to say? No?
Yeah, something like that.
But
Belichick going down to North Carolina, something like that. But in this, I think they'll be able to hold on to their recruits. If they name somebody else, you may lose the recruits that Cole brought in. So good luck to Brian. Good luck to Martelli as well going forward. I think everyone knew that he wasn't long for the Brian job after.
And that's the nature of the beast,
really
as we know this year. The last. It's always been that case in terms of coaching, but now it is a true business now all around. So over in college hockey. 16-team NCAA college hockey bracket was announced. 8 teams, as we predicted last week on our show, from New England played their first-round games Thursday and last night, whittling the field down to the Elite 8. In the first game, BU got over some initial jitters as they trailed early before an explosive third period led them to an 8-3 victory over Ohio State out in Toledo. In the nightcap, in Toledo in a stunning upset, Cornell trailing the number 2 ranked in the country and the number 1 seed in that region, Michigan State, late by a score of 3-2, ties it, sends it into
No, it didn't go into overtime.
That's right. Sorry, So they tied it, and then they won it with 8.3 seconds left, and just a beautiful couple goals in that last sequence. Right. Ultimately, they finished the comeback. And they shocked the overall number 2 seed in the country, number 1 in that regional. They'll face BU today at 4:00 on ESPNU.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead. You were about to say something?
Yeah. So the good story about Cornell is they're kind of like the Cinderella. I think they've won 7 or 8 of their last 8 games leading up to this. They had to win out the ECAC, win that tournament to get in. The coach is retiring at the end of the season. I think he's been there for 30 years or something crazy. So so the true Cinderella story. We'll see how they fare today against BU.
All right. Now it sounds good. I'm rooting for Hockey East, but it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to have Cornell jumping in there as well. Also, Thursday over in Fargo, North Dakota, the fans there had a long day of hockey. The first game featured the number 4 overall seed, number 1 in the region, Western Michigan, as they faced Minnesota State. That game went double overtime with Western Michigan winning 2-1. In the nightcap, UMass Minutemen at 12:47 a.m. our time defeats Minnesota in overtime by a score of 5-4. A little bit of controversy in this game as it appeared that UMass got away with a trip at center ice just moments before the overtime winner. We may have a clip of this that we're going to try something here for the first time in the Chief Seats. Let's see if we can play this clip. This is the Minnesota play-by-play announcer.
Chesley, he carries his center. He's tricked. How do you not call this? I know it's overtime, but for crying out loud, he's got the puck and he's tripped. Meanwhile, back comes Mass. They shoot. They score! Oh, my God. What poor officiating. Chesley's trip falls down. No penalty is called. UMass immediately turns it back up ice, and they score in overtime at 4:49 and win the game.
Gonna love the other disgust in the voice of the Minnesota play-by-play.
And earlier in the game, Minnesota's goalie had a skate issue that they actually made the goalie come out of the game. They had to put the backup goalie in. UMass immediately scores their first goal of the game. So kind of a double-edged sword there for the
for the Gophers.
For the Gophers there. So
and I do wonder, when we were talking about this briefly before the show, I saw a women's high school hockey game where the same thing happened. A skate issue. They did not let her make the repairs. They put in the backup. So I wonder if this is just a standard high school, college, minor league hockey, NHL rule that we're not wasting time.
I don't know the exact rule, and I think even the Minnesota coach was kind of questioning what the actual rule is. But anyway.
Before we continue on the show, let's go to our first break, and I think we got our first caller, which we think is going to be Nate. So we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to go to our guest, Nate Tellier, and then we'll finish up some college hockey. We're also going to get into the Red Sox and the Patriots. Everyone making news this week, an exciting week here. So thank you again joining us here in the Cheap Seats on 99.5 FM, 1240 AM, and WOONSoccerRadio.com. We will be back right after these messages.
The best variety of music. ON 1240.
The latest Buick and GMC models are available at Tasker Buick GMC in Woonsocket. Buick Encore, Envision, Enclave, and Envista are on the lot waiting for you to take one for a test drive. New GMC crossovers, SUVs, as well as trucks and vans are also available. Thinking of a pre-owned vehicle? Tasker Buick GMC has more than 900 in stock, many under $15,000. Visit online, TaskerBuickGMC.com, or stop into 55 Fortin Drive, Woonsocket. Tasker Buick GMC, you will be satisfied.
To avoid long waiting periods in hospital emergency rooms, your option is North Smithfield Urgent Care and Lincoln Urgent Care, where you'll be seen by a board-certified physician in a comfortable and restful setting. Most importantly, you'll have a diagnosis and information about your medical discomfort. In other words, peace of mind. North Smithfield Urgent Care, 594 Great Road, North Smithfield, and Lincoln Urgent Care, across from the Lincoln Mall. You do have a choice.
When disaster strikes, trust the experts at Service Master by Gilmore. From water and fire restoration to mold remediation and emergency cleanup, we've been restoring peace of mind for over 40 years, now proudly serving all areas, including our newest service location in Rhode Island. No job is too big or too small. Day or night, we're here for you. Call Service Master by Gilmore at 1-800-783-0552 or visit us at the web at www.svmgilmore.com. Restoration done right every time.
The world-class distributor of all things electrical is Electrical Wholesalers. They are a full-service electrical distributor with branches throughout Rhode Island, Massachusetts, and New Hampshire. Locally, they're at 113 Clinton Street next to KFC here in Woonsocket, with other locations in Cranston and Franklin, Massachusetts. Electrical Wholesalers provides the highest quality service to electrical contractors, as well as residential, commercial, and industrial customers. Electrical Wholesalers is open Monday through Friday, 7 in the morning till 5 in the afternoon. Visit ew-ne.com. Electrical Wholesalers. ON AM and FM.
And welcome back to the Cheap Seats with Pat and Kevin. Let's go to the lines where I believe our guest Nate is on the line. Nate, are you there?
Yep, we're here.
All right, so Nate, you with you know me, Kevin. I'm with Pat Holland here in studio. Thanks. This is your second appearance on the show. Thank you so much for waking up early and coming on to the show with us.
No, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Well, when we last left, you were getting ready for spring training, basically, and you took off. So that was back in late January, early February. How are things going through February and the month of March so far?
Things are going great. I love it here. It's a blast. It's baseball, but 10 times more fun. Actually performing took a little bit getting used to, like dancing and doing all that, but I'm starting to get the hang of it right now, and we're in peak form right now at Party Animals.
Oh, that's great. And tell the listeners, like, where are some of the stadiums that you've played at so far?
We played in spring training at Fort Myers for the Red Sox, and then we played in Miami at Lone Depot Park, which is a lot of fun. A little different because it's an indoor park. I've never played in a park with a roof on it with 40,000 people, so it was a lot of fun there. And then we played in Arizona at the Cubs spring training and the Dodgers spring training, and then we played in Tampa at the Buck Stadium with 65,000 people. That was insane. Sell out that much, and there was no bad reviews. Everyone loved it, even the top deck. So
did you get into that game?
No, I didn't. None of the new pitchers got to go in. The old guys, the returners, they played all last year. Didn't get to play in a football stadium, so
Gotcha.
They got first bid, obviously.
Yep.
And then tonight we play at the Braves Stadium.
That's cool.
So that's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, for sure. We're in Atlanta right now.
Are all these games sold out, Nate?
Yes. Yep. And with the waiting list I think we have a waiting list of like 3 million people throughout all the tours. So whenever someone doesn't go, someone just comes and takes their place. So it's really cool what Jesse Cole has built here.
Yeah, I was going to say
be able to have 3 million people on the wait list. Yeah.
He's certainly built this thing up. It's kind of like a finely tuned machine now, right? I'm sure he has a scale in mind in terms of where he wants to go, but it looks like things are just really just unbelievable for him and for you guys. I think Kevin and I mentioned, the clip that went viral. It's not just the dancing and this and that's part of it, but it's also it's true baseball, right? There's nothing scripted about that, right? A guy hitting 120 mile an hour line drive back at your head, right?
Oh, I wouldn't say 120 is 100,
It might as well be.
Might as well be right in my head. Yeah, no, that's our favorite things as players, to see those go viral, because obviously our dances and stuff are entertaining, but we want people to know that this is competitive baseball, just with entertainment mixed in. So everyone believes that the Party Animals are like the generals of the Harlem Globetrotters, but we're not. We're out there competing. We're out there to win it. So when something like that goes off, when showing our athleticism, that's our favorite thing to go viral at that point.
What was going through your mind? Well, I guess more after, because you got to react when the ball's coming back to your head that fast. So what happened? The way you sat up was like, oh my God, did I just catch that? That's what it looked like. What was going through your mind?
So I was trying to avoid getting hit in the teeth, obviously. But as I did that, I saw the ball go by my head, and my glove was there, so I saw it go into the glove. I held the glove on by 2 fingers as I fell down, and I just, I felt it in my glove, so I sat up and picked it up because I didn't feel any of it. So if you watch the video, I fell down pretty hard. I didn't realize I fell down as hard as I did until I went back and rewatched it, but there was no pain in that point because my adrenaline was going through the roof. But yeah, I sat up and it was hilarious. My catcher, Bronny, he came out and checked my heart rate. My third baseman, Bloomer, came and gave me some Gatorade. So it was funny. And yeah, but it's such a fast-paced game, you can't dwell on it too long, and then you have to go to the next hitter. But my heart was racing for the rest of the day for sure.
Yeah, Nate. What is the toughest part? Is it the going from the persona, the character that you've created to the maybe it's the more scripted dance stuff or trick wind up into now I got to lock in and we're playing baseball, right? Some guy could rip this ball back in my head. That must be difficult to make that adjustment as fast as you have to.
The first couple outings I had, I did not know the good ratio. My first outing, I was just competing. I was like, oh crap, I need to entertain too. And then the next outing, I was like, oh, I'm entertaining, I'm not competing. So like, it's finding that happy medium of being the pitcher you are, but also being fun to watch. So I'm starting to get in the groove of that because you don't want to give up your athleticism to be entertaining. So
right, because that's what got you on the team first. I mean, you got to be a good player. Yeah. So you can't lose that.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone here is either affiliate ball, D1 college, independent ball. So everyone here is a good player. You have to be a good player to be here. And that's what's looked over a lot of the time. And no matter, like, they love you being entertaining, but if you don't go out there and get a 0 on the board, like, it's not a good day. You know what I mean? It's really just finding that happy medium.
So do you still have, like, when you were with the Sox and, even in your college and, any CBL career, you had a pitching coach. Do you have a pitching coach there as well to continue working on your mechanics?
We don't have a pitching coach on the Party Animals. We have a pitching coach on the Bananas, Viro. But Vava is our head coach, and he also manages the pitching staff. But it's really just it's really talking to the other players because we have Brett Helton, who played in the Pirates organization for 7 years. So he knows a lot of that stuff. Gillespie's been a closer forever, so he knows a lot of that stuff. So it's really just talking amongst players because there's so much knowledge amongst us that we could use a pitching coach, but we don't necessarily need one.
Right. Okay. No, it's fascinating. So I know we've only got a few minutes with you, Nate. So we see the clips, come on, and I make the mistake. I hope you don't, but I'll ask the question anyway. I read some of the comments, and I'm always amazed at the people, and I know they're keyboard warriors. So in essence, the haters. Do you read the comments and or do you have or what do you say to the haters of this isn't real baseball and all that? As you said, crap.
It's really it's really just it makes them feel good hating on something.
Yeah.
So just let them get that dopamine rush. It really doesn't affect us. All like, all right, you commented, what now? So just all right, if they want to hide behind their keyboard and do that, like what difference is it gonna make, really? At first I was affected by the hate comments or whatever, but it's you talk to these people and we're doing something completely different. There's not everyone's gonna love it at first. So
right.
Let them get that little dopamine rush by posting a hate comment and then move on with your day.
No, and I get that maybe two 77-year-old guys that grew up reading the box scores and listening to the game on the transistor radio might not be their thing to go to a Party Animals game, and that's fine. But you are there to entertain, and you're selling out football stadiums and Major League Baseball. Saying, look, the Marlins aren't going to sell out, but you guys sold out. The Marlins Stadium.
Yeah.
That's
really just
volumes.
Focus. Focus on the people that love it.
Right.
Yeah, and there's
the people that love what we do.
Absolutely.
So.
And there's a lot more of them, right? As I said, as you said, sometimes the people like to watch it and. The dancing and you guys are all obviously great athletes in great shape, far better shape than I am. My wife would prefer to watch your viral videos than she would watching me. But I always joke with my son because I umpire, as you guys know, and I'm always like, maybe I could jump on there. Look at this guy. And my dad's like, come on. My son's like, Dad, come on. You can't do that. I'm like, no, I could.
Wait. There's a big guy umpire. Can we be that guy?
You have to shake your butt a little bit. The dancing umpire.
I can do that.
I can do that. All right.
Can you hook us up?
Yeah, hook us up. We'll be the first sports radio duo to go umpire a Party Animals game. So hook us up while you're down there, Nate.
You probably got to send a video in to show your moves first before Jesse approves that. So I want to see that.
All right. We'll work on that. I got a double-headed tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay. All right, we're on it. So, all right, Nate, we know you're going to get going soon. So thanks again for joining us. Will you agree to join us again in another month to keep us up to date on what's going on?
Yeah, for sure.
And,
Yeah.
Really quick, why did Snoop Dogg retweet something of yours? What was that about? Do you have a second?
So I love Snoop Dogg because he just be doing stuff sometimes. Like you'll see him do the randomest stuff, and it's so entertaining. So his whole page is just random stuff, and the fact that he noticed us, I want to get him out to a game, maybe get him in at bat, or get him an inning pitching. Like that would be fantastic.
That would go over really well. So that's really cool. So if you see Snoop before I do, tell him I said hi.
Okay, I'll make sure to do that.
All right. Thank you, Nate. Appreciate you joining us. Have a great time. Good luck in Atlanta today. Take it easy.
Have a good day, guys. Thank you.
Bye. Nate Tellier of the Savannah Bananas joining us here in the cheap seats, and we have another call on the line. So why don't we just
Sure.
You want to go to the call? All right, let's go to that call. And hello, you're on the line in the cheap seats with Pat and Kevin.
Good morning, Kevin. Good morning, Pat.
Good morning, Moose. How are you this morning?
I'm fine. Boy, what a week load of sports we got on our hands this morning.
Oh, yeah.
Everything is flowing.
Including the party animals from the Savannah Bananas organization.
Savannah Banana organization. You know, I just caught the last few seconds of your conversation, and I'm still trying to... Okay, I give up. Exactly what is that?
In a nutshell, Moose, they're the Harlem Globetrotters of baseball, and what they're doing is they're playing more competitive games, whereas the Globetrotters always beat the Washington Generals, who are in on the act. These guys are all in on the act, but they're actually trying to beat each other.
Oh, I've heard of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the gentleman we just had on, actually last Saturday, there was a line drive back at his head. He ducked out of the way at the last second, and he caught the ball, and it knocked him to the ground. and like the whole country is now seeing it. It was hit that hard. It was about 100-mile-an-hour fastball right back at his head, and that's something you can't script. You know. So.
Something that happened to me about 40 years ago in a softball field. Of course, not as with the velocity of baseball, but nonetheless, a line shot right back at me. Boom!
There you go.
It's going to
hit
hurt.
me right in the glove in my face, and I rolled over in the back.
Oh, no. So, all right, Moose, so what are your initial thoughts on the Sox? 1-1, they're not going to go undefeated.
Well, I was hoping they would go undefeated. I know it's hot to say.
Yeah.
It's baseball season. I'm ready for it, and let's see how. There's not much to say. The season's underway. After 2 games in, 2 pretty well played games on both sides. The Rangers are a tough club.
Oh, sure.
The Rangers are picked to go very far in the American League. I don't know if you. They've got high expectations for this team, just as probably even more than the Red Sox guys.
Well, when did the Rangers win? They won it 2 years ago, didn't they?
They certainly did.
They did, yeah.
So you just don't lose the expectations. You know.
Well, no, I mean going to the World Series, guys. But strangely enough, the experts that I've seen that picked, there's about 7 or 8 of them. They vary on who's going to win the American League East and West and Central, but they don't have one team winning the World Series.
No, the consensus is that the American League is very weak this year compared to the National League, which actually could make for.
They got Dodgers and the Phillies mostly.
Right.
Some Mets.
The Juan Soto acquisition helps with the Mets pick, I would think.
But the Rangers have picked a couple of times to go to the World Series.
I mean, I could see that. I mean, I'm seeing predictions.
Look at that division they're in.
Right,
I mean,
exactly.
The Royals are okay. Surprisingly enough, after they turned around from last year.
Right.
Yeah.
But then you got the Sacramento Athletics. Boy, that's hard to digest.
The Philadelphia, Kansas City, Oakland, Sacramento, Las Vegas A's.
Wow, that's even more hard.
You put that on a hat.
Right.
Anyway, guys, it's just too much to discuss, and you're probably up against the break.
Yep.
Yeah, actually, we are.
But rest in peace, Boston Bruins.
Yeah.
Farewell.
Right for the pick. Marchand had the game-winning assist last night for Florida, and hopefully we'll have a top 6 pick in the draft. So we can
Marchand had a what? Game-winning what?
Game-winning assist.
Oh, game-winning
on Florida's winning goal.
Yeah.
To Bennett.
All of a sudden, I've lost complete interest in hockey.
They're a tough
to watch.
They're a tough watch right now.
But you can't do it anymore. I mean, I love hockey, but the Bruins are out of it. You know, and it's maybe I'll watch somebody the playoffs, but now I really couldn't care. I really, I just don't. But let's see what the Sox do with great NCAA action. Yep. You might have got my email, Kevin, about women's basketball.
We'll cover that next week.
Yeah, just really closely, the NCAA women's. I don't know how to. There's some of these teams in here that they're awful.
Yeah.
I mean, the talent is just not there.
Yeah. Well,
that's a big subject. That's a personal opinion of mine.
Right.
I think,
exactly.
I think the NBA and college women is overrated and overexposed. Certainly overexposed. I mean, it's all over the place now.
All right, yeah, we'll hit that. We are up against the break, Moose. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll get into all that probably next week.
Okay, just get rid of me. That's it.
That's it.
Yep. I'm going away now.
We got to get to the people that pay our salaries.
All right, Moose. Have a good one.
You too.
All right, bye. The Mighty Moose joining us. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we have another call on the line. So let's go to commercial. We'll be right back. We'll continue breaking down the NCAA bracket. We'll talk some Sox. We'll talk some Pats. And we'll talk what you want to talk about in the cheap seats on 1240 AM, 99.5 FM, and WoodSoccerRadio.com. We will be right back.
ON 1240.
They can diagnose and repair just about anything at State Line Service. From tires and alignments and front-end work on all makes of cars and trucks up to 1 ton to smaller items like brakes, starters, struts, exhausts, radiators, timing belts, and high-speed balance. State Line Service is a third-generation family-owned business, up to date with the latest technology. They believe in clear, honest communication with their clients. No double talk, no pressure. State Line Service, 1209 Social Street, Woonsocket, at the State Line. State Line Service.
Woonsocket Door Sales can handle any kind of door installation, including residential and commercial, paying special attention to your door's infrastructure, such as framework repair, to ensure that your door is firmly in place. Woonsocket Door Sales is a fourth-generation family business, installing and repairing all types of doors. Please visit their website at woonsocketdoorsales.com to see a gallery of door styles, manufacturers, and testimonials from satisfied customers. Woonsocket Door Sales, 767-3448. Call Amy Bebo at 767-3448.
The latest Buick and GMC models are available at Tasker Buick GMC in Woonsocket. Buick Encore, Envision, Enclave, and Envista are on the lot waiting for you to take one for a test drive. New GMC crossovers, SUVs, as well as trucks and vans are also available. Thinking of a pre-owned vehicle? Tasker Buick GMC has more than 900 in stock, many under $15,000. Visit online, TaskerBuickGMC.com, or stop into 55 Fortin Drive, Woonsocket. Tasker Buick GMC, you will be satisfied.
Don't look now, but spring is right around the corner. Get out those golf clubs and head over to Lewis Quistit Golf Club, located right in the city of North Providence. Lewis Quistit offers a stunning 9-hole course designed by U.S. Open champion Ken Ventori. Whether you're looking for a fun, challenging round of golf or just a relaxing day surrounded by rolling hills, oak trees, natural wetlands, this is the perfect spot. With tee times available 7 days a week, fantastic court conditions, and a welcoming atmosphere both for members and the public, Lewis Quistit is a place to be. And after you're around, don't miss out on great food and drinks at the Pub on One, complete with a scenic golf course view. Contact Lewis Quistit Golf Club at www.lewisquisitgc.com or by calling 401-353-1620.
And welcome back to the Cheap Seats with Pat and Kevin. We're going to go to the phone line. I think we have Greg from Connecticut. Greg, are you there?
Yeah, hey, it's Greg from Rhode Island.
Greg from Rhode Island, Connecticut, Long Island. You're all over the place. You're in Long Island right now, right?
Greg from the Northeast.
Greg from the Northeast. That's easy enough to say.
There you go. Great show. Really enjoyed the whole interview with the guy from the Party Animals. That was really awesome.
Nate Teller, second time joining us. I believe we were his first interview after he signed the contract.
Yeah.
So that's how powerful we are, Greg.
It was really interesting to hear all about that team and everything. Although I have to tell you, not for nothing, I'm not sure anyone's going to want to pay to watch you guys shake your butts. I'm
this
sorry.
is true.
No, we're part of it. We wouldn't be the lead.
Right. We'd be like backstage.
Backstage.
That's when people would be going out to get their beers.
True. That's fine.
Shake your butts.
Point being is that we would get paid.
We're not the main attraction.
We know we're not the main attraction. We accept our role.
We're not on
I got a
the
couple,
center stage, if you will.
Yeah.
I know you guys, and first of all, a big fan of the show. I love the way you guys cover national sports, local sports, college sports, and such a wide range of different sports. I remember the first time I called in, you were talking about like women's tennis and then the Bruins hockey, so I got a couple of fringe sport, kind of updates for you.
All right, cool.
And I don't know if you covered this last week, but I don't know if you saw Johnson and Wales, the college wrestling team, won the Division III national championship last weekend. It's coached by two of our former college classmates, Lonnie Morris and Brian Allen.
Yes.
And they were the first team, other than these two teams, Wartburg and Augsburg, to win the national championship for the last 20 years. So it's a pretty big deal. They did it right. They did it right in the AMP, like in home.
That's right.
Right in Providence.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty wild that the whole thing took place in Providence. I didn't even know that they were hosting it. Something like that. Was it well attended, Greg?
Yeah, it was pretty packed, and
good.
I mean, as packed as a college, NCAA championship would be, and I'd say like, half full, but that's still, I don't know how many people it holds, but 10,000 people, something like that.
Yeah.
And it was really exciting because Johnson and Wales was ahead the whole day, and then in the finals, Wartburg had two people in the finals, and Johnson and Wales had two people in the finals. And the way it worked out, Johnson and Wales ended up like a point behind going into the last match of the night, and they had a guy in the finals who had to win in order for Johnson and Wales to win the tournament. And it was a close match back and forth, and he won, and the place went crazy. It was really, really fun.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yes.
And it's as we've talked, Pat and I have talked, it's not just D1 sports. We know that's, most interesting to other people, but we're huge fans of the D3s. I mean, living with you and a couple of the other guys are on the wrestling team. My son's playing D3 baseball. Our daughter's looking to play D3, maybe soccer and softball and things like that. I had the pleasure of going out to Iowa for Division III World Series a few years back. I mean, the competition is that good. Yeah, all right, it might not be D1, but the care, the commitment, the work ethic is the same. So no, I appreciate the update on that, Greg. We have limited time ourselves, so we're trying to hit, as you mentioned, a bunch of different topics. So we appreciate you calling in, because I wouldn't have been able to give the details that you just gave.
Yeah, I know that Johnson and Wales team. They have a lot of kids from Coventry, Pontigansett, which are two top notch. I mean, not just local, but national level high school programs. I mean, they're getting recognized on the national level too. So good for them for being able to keep a lot of these kids in state as well.
Yeah, and in the public schools and through the CTE programs, there might be a little school choice going on. But
I got one other quick story for you if you have like another, URI, they have the club hockey team. Right?
Oh yeah.
And they're really good. But what you might not know is they also have a club inline skating team.
I did not know that. You knew that?
I did.
They play on rollerblades.
Yeah.
And they're phenomenal. My nephew plays on the team. They're ranked second in the country, and they're down in the national championships this weekend in Fort Myers, playing for the national championship of inline skating. So I thought that was kind of an interesting one too.
Well, and off of these like niche sports coming up, we might have in a few weeks I think it's the 16U National Flag Football Champions out of Cumberland, Rhode Island, that won the championship down in Florida, beating teams from New England, Texas, and Canada. So
that's great.
And that was well attended, is what I heard. So you got these niche sports going on all over the place, and they're very well attended. Great participation. That's fantastic for your nephew. I didn't know they had an inline skating team. And again, even the club sports, they play at a very high level, and there's a heck of a commitment behind that as well.
Yeah, I mean, they play against Quinnipiac and Northeastern and Boston University, and
we haven't touched upon it yet, but obviously Penn State beat Maine last night.
Right.
Penn State's college hockey team was a club team originally.
Right.
They've come up through the ranks.
That's their first ever. Yeah, Penn State hockey. That's their first ever NCAA tournament hockey win was last night against Maine, who came in at the number 2 seed over, 3 seed overall, and they beat Maine in the opening round last night. So, so no, that's interesting. Greg, thanks so much for the call. Good luck. Good luck in Long Island this weekend. Hope it goes well for you.
Thanks a lot. Great to talk to you guys. Thank
All
you.
right,
Thanks, Greg.
Goodbye.
Greg from the Northeast.
Yeah.
The only negative thing is Greg, he is a Jets fan, but they just took another step backwards, I think.
The who?
Yeah, exactly.
The what?
Somebody has to play out of New Jersey and call themselves New York, so why not the Jets and the Giants, I suppose. So, all right. So, all right. Why don't we go to our final break?
Yeah.
We'll come back. We'll wrap up the college hockey bracket. There should be some time to talk about the Sox, though we did with Moose. And touch a little bit. I want to get you. We actually haven't even talked about your thoughts on Stephon Diggs. You for it? You against it? And if you have any thoughts, give us a call. 401-766-1240. We'd love to hear from you on any topic. You want to talk Division III college wrestling? Go ahead. Give us a call. You want to talk the basketball tournament? You want to talk hockey tournament? Sox,
Cricket?
Pats, cricket.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We'll do some research.
Dennis from Ireland, call in. Give us some good cricket talk. All right, we'll be back on 1240 AM, 99.5 FM, and WoonSocketRadio.com right after this.
ON 1240.
Automobile construction and design continues to change, so it's important that auto body shops remain current and certified in aluminum repair and able to reproduce the entire color spectrum. Michaud's Auto Body is a certified Class A auto shop staying current with the new technology. The use of aluminum in construction has made vehicles lighter, and many of the new metallic paints require the tri-coat process. 3 layers to get the perfect match. Michaud's Auto Body, a second-generation family business. 430 Privilege Street, Woonsocket. 769-1983.
Are you looking to beautify your property this spring? Look to A.J. Moran for stonework patios, steps, walkways, plus retaining walls. Are you looking to beautify your home this spring? A.J. Moran can put veneer stone right on your house to have beautiful looking stone. And if that's not what you want, A.J. Moran can rebuild indoor fireplaces with veneer stone. It's real natural stone. Check out what they can do online, ajmoraninc.com. A.J. Moran.
If you're celebrating a major event, regardless of the reason, Michael's Meats of Cumberland can elevate your next meal from ordinary to extraordinary with meats so good your guests will ask you where you got them. Tell them Michael's Meats. Michael's Meats is in the Walgreens parking lot on Mendon Road in Cumberland, just north of the Ciabro Plaza. They're open Monday through Saturday at 9 a.m., making your next meal truly special. Here's this week's specials at Michael's Meats.
In this week's specials at Michael's Meats, they have fresh grade A chicken tenderloins for just $2.88 a pound at Michael's Meats. Also, get your Easter orders in now. Give Michael's Meats a call. Welcome back to the Cheap Seats with Pat and Kevin. I'm Kevin Callahan along with my co-host Pat Holland. We want to thank so far Nate, Moose, and Greg for calling in. If you have a thought, give us a call, 401-766-1240. Pat, let's continue breaking down what happened Thursday night, Friday night over in the NCAAs. We last left off with the Minnesota play-by-play announcer very upset that UMass won 5-4.
Yep.
In overtime, thus setting up.
UMass Western Michigan will play. I believe it's today, right?
Yeah,
today at 6:30 on the ESPNU.
Yep, and look for that game. Yeah, I even wrote it. This is just from my own personal experience. They're coming on after the BU Cornell game, also on ESPNU, and BU Cornell starts at 4. UMass at 6:30. Look for that game to begin on ESPN News or ESPN Plus or the app. BU Cornell will run a little long. It's possible that UMass, they may start a little bit late, but don't count on it. So you may have to look for them over on ESPN News. So, Good. You want to hit the Friday scores?
Yeah, then last night, a couple upsets as well in Allentown, Pennsylvania. The number 3 overall seed versus the number 1 seed in that region, Maine, had a road game versus number 14 overall Penn State. They do this in hockey in that bracket to kind of try to sell more tickets. So Penn State gets essentially a home game in Allentown, Pennsylvania, and UMaine just couldn't skate with Penn State. They came out flat. Penn State used the home ice advantage and cruised to a 5-1 victory last night over UMaine. So Penn State will have another home game as a lower seed as they'll face UConn tonight, who faced in in-state rival Quinnipiac and beat them 4-1. UConn assumed control early and they were up 2-0 after the first. Quinnipiac just couldn't get it going. UConn and Penn State face off tomorrow on ESPN2 at 4:30.
And the other thing, I was reading a little bit on Penn State, and people like, oh, this is just Maine's fans crying, and they wouldn't have won anywhere. Maine was going to lose last night. You don't lose 5-1, you can't blame home ice. The point being is you work hard all year, you get the number 3 seed overall, the number 1 in the region, and you have to play a road game. Now Providence has been the beneficiary of that one time. They were the number 4 seed, and they had the game at the Civic Center or the Dunkin' Donuts Center at the time. So it's the NCAA. It's not like basketball where everything sells out. They're getting 7,000 if they're lucky for the regionals. It's a great ticket. Go up there. Matter of fact, the other up in Manchester, New Hampshire, there are seats available. I highly recommend going up there tomorrow for BC Denver because. The main story was at the beginning was not the 4 teams playing in the tournament up in Manchester, but the horrid ice conditions at the rink, which led to constant stoppages as the net kept coming off its moorings. Basically, they don't play college hockey or AHL or East Coast hockey anymore. It's for kids, so they only had little magnets for the moorings. So the net kept coming off. So there was a lot of stoppages throughout the course of the game. And which actually probably played to Bentley's strength. They slowed down the game, didn't let BC get into any sort of rhythm. It was so bad that in between periods of the BC Bentley game, they interviewed the rink manager. I have never seen that.
Right.
To talk about rink conditions.
What's going on?
In an NCAA tournament. So I'll be curious to see if that has on any lasting effects on future tournaments up in Manchester. Onto the games. Boston College was given a major scare. Just mentioned Bentley was still tied with BC 1-1, less than 2 minutes to go in the game, but with a $110, James Hagens from the U.S. national team as well had a wraparound goal, and then an empty netter sealed the deal for Boston College last night, and they are the number 1 overall seed, so that would have been another major upset.
Yeah, I mean, they dominated the game for the most part, but yeah, I mean, obviously, you give Bentley a little momentum, right? Hey, we can skate with these guys.
They had bad hop on maybe not the best ice conditions, too.
Yeah, and so it is tough.
Anything can happen.
The other matchup up there, the PC Friars took on the defending champion Denver University, which tough draw for them regardless. Pioneers jumped out to an early 1-0 lead when PC goalie Phillips Vedbach tried to clear the puck behind his net, hit his left skate, puck went into the crease, and Denver put it in. Denver led after the first period 1-0. They scored a couple more times to go at 3-0 after 2 with approximately 7 minutes to go in the game. PC was awarded a 5-minute major penalty and promptly scored 3 seconds into the man advantage. PC just got too fancy on the power play, trying low percentage passes from the left to the right, passing up scoring chances. They pulled their goalie. Denver finishes scoring with a shorthanded empty net goal to go on to win 5-1. Tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, ESPN2, which is tonight.
No,
tomorrow night. Yep,
tomorrow
night.
Yeah.
It should be a great game. BC versus Denver go at it for the right to go to the Frozen Four, and I believe BC lost to Denver in the final last year.
I'm not sure if it was the finals or if it was this round. I can't remember now. But again, same deal. That game's starting on ESPN2 at 7. However, the UConn Penn State begins at 4:30, also on ESPN2. So look for the beginning of that game to start probably over on the ESPNU. Definitely on ESPN Plus if you have that.
On paper, BC is the best team in the country by far, hands down. They are very front heavy.
Yeah.
If that first line's not clicking, they struggle.
And
the good news is they probably have one of the best, if not the second best goalie in the country playing for them. But
the other thing is Denver, not only are they the returning champions, they've won 2 of the last 3, and they would love to be, it would be the first team ever to go win 3 out of 4.
Yeah.
I believe is what they said on TV last night.
Yeah, they got a couple dynamic players as well.
Right.
So
we got I got one little final commentary on PC hockey. To their credit, they stayed in the top 10 pretty much all season, playing in the toughest conference in Hockey East. Since they beat Brown for the Mayor's Cup, which was like January 5th or 4th, something like that, PC finished their season, if you count shootout losses as actual losses, they finished 6-11 in their final 17 games. Something just seemed to be amiss for Nate Lehman and his team. You don't want to count those as losses, fine. They were 6-9-2 in their last 17 games. Again, hockey is very strong. I felt like they limped into the tournament, and the last concern I had was right before the PC game. They announced that Coach Lehman changed up his lines.
Yep.
Not quite sure why. Didn't get an explanation. And the player that they interviewed said, "We hope it creates a spark." And they came out listless in the first period, and just never were able to get on top of things. And then not taking advantage of the 5-minute major late in the game. It just kind of solidified it. So too bad. I mean, good season, finishing 10th in the country, which is phenomenal. But just a little disappointing that to go out. I get losses 5-1 though. I'm like, come on, guys. But
especially when win or go home, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Providence Bruins dropped 2 midweek games to the Charlotte Checkers. They currently sit 4th. The P Bruins have They have a game tonight at 7 versus Hartford, and a 3:00 matinee tomorrow versus Springfield. Both games were at the Amp. The Woo Sox opened up yesterday with a 4-3 loss to the Syracuse Mets. Roman Anthony led off and played left field. He went 0 for 3 with 2 walks, a strikeout, and an RBI. Marcelo Mayer, making his AAA debut, batted third, played shortstop. He went 0 for 4 with 2 Ks. Same 2 teams will play today at 4 and tomorrow at 1:05. After the Woo Sox don't return home until late April 8th. Not late. Sorry. And then RFC, currently 0-1-1, play Loudoun FC today at 4 on ESPN Plus. They eagerly we all eagerly await their home opener at Tidewater Landing, their brand new stadium in Pawtucket, 4 weeks from today. We have confirmed that we will have David Peart, who is the president of Rhode Island FC, on our show. He was on, I want to say, late June, early July of last year when he came on, shortly about a month after he came on as a new president. He's confirmed to be on our show on Saturday, April 14th, so put that on your schedule, and we'll talk all things IRFC and some of the, maybe the stadium, parking, the USL, and adding this new league above them, so there'll be true relegation and promotion. Again, that'll be April 14th. We'll have him on, and we'll update us if anything changes on that. But that's where we're at with that.
That's exciting. It's with the stadium, I drive by it every morning, and it looks great. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I know you're the big soccer guy. I like soccer. I don't dislike it, and I'm interested. I like it. I do. I'm a big World Cup fan. I follow it. I know the Revolution still haven't scored a goal off their own offensive feet
Revolution,
yet
I'll be there today. 2:30 this afternoon. They're playing the Red Bull from New Jersey. I watched the Gotham City game last night with my wife, and one of their best players looks like she tore her ACL, who's a U.S. women's player, which is always tough to see, but it seems to be more predominant in women's soccer.
The Boston women's team that's starting next year just changed their name.
They're going to be the...
It's not Pride. That's another. That's
Boss.
hockey team.
I forget.
It's not Legacy.
Boston Legacy.
Legacy.
FC.
Me. See, I am a soccer guy.
We're going to try to shift over from Gotham to Boston because the commute's a lot easier.
All right, so we've got a couple of minutes. Yeah. I want to bring it up. I'm sure we have time to talk about Rafael Devers and his 0-for-8, 7 strikeout start. More next week. Here's hoping he has a better April than he does March. But Stephon Diggs. They also got Matt Collins as a wide receiver. Your initial thoughts on Diggs? Were you like everybody else thought he was gone after he left Gillette without a contract? And are you happy they signed him?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's certainly an upgrade. Obviously, he's coming off of a major injury, but more often than not, these guys come back and they're able to produce. I think did they have to overpay to get him? Probably a little bit. Is it truly going to be a 3-year, $69 million? Probably not. I'm sure he'll get his guaranteed money and then maybe be done. But we'll see. It's a step. I think it's a step in the right direction. They needed a true number one guy. I think there's still work to be done, which I think they're going to make some moves in the draft.
And as other people said, he's a number one on the Patriots. He's not a number one. He wasn't even a number one in Houston. No. But he was on his way to 1,000. He was to 1,000-yard season with over 80 catches. He's going to be a number one in New England. Whenever a wide receiver says, I have the best hands on the team, I think Diggs will say, be quiet and go catch a ball instead of having more drops than catches, as a certain rookie wide receiver did last year for the Pats.
And I think that's what it comes down to is giving Drake a true guy who he can throw to.
Right.
He
Besides
can throw
Hunter Henry.
Right, but he can throw. I mean
that's the underneath stuff. But
as you take that away,
right,
there was never really another option.
Right.
Per se. So now it's a true. Now a defense has to key on a Diggs.
Right. Exactly.
And then whatever else they do, again, that's open for discussion of what they're going to do at 4. Are they going to stay there? Are they going to take whatever's there? Are they going to take a Cotter if he's there? I would.
Right.
If he's not there, are they going to take a Hunter? I would.
Yeah. No, it allows you a little bit more flexibility. You got the 4 spot. They got a lot of draft picks, or some more draft picks coming. Obviously, they have to get something on the line as well, and I'm sure we'll get more into that as we get into April, get a little bit closer to the draft. To see what the needs are, to see if they do anything else in free agency. So we don't have much time left, but there's some hiccups in the Celtics sale going on. The $6.1 billion might not be going off. Steve Pagliuca, Pagliuca. He's not happy. He offered, I guess, 5.9, and he's been wanting in on a while. The Bruins are just. The Joe Sacco reign is over. I mean, any hope that he wanted to stay on, it's gone. The team just absolutely quit in front of him, and
I think there's, from what I understand, there's been some in even just amongst coaches. There was a scene from one of the games where you could see Sacco and one of the other assistant coaches, I think it was Chris Kelly, kind of arguing almost about either the power play or the PK, and it's like once you see that stuff going on, it's like, all right, well, changes need to be made on the bench, and I think that was going to be the decision from the get-go. I don't think they had ever had any intention on keeping Sacco.
And this from Ty Anderson last week, who was quoting Fluto Shinzawa when someone asked, he thinks it was Fluto that asked Nikita Zadorov if he appreciated when Jeremy Swayman stuck up, for his players by challenging the other goalie to a fight, which the referees did not let happen, but they both met near center ice. It was going to happen, and Zadorov said, "Is that what it is? I don't know. No comment." And that did not play very well. Since Zadorov has backed off the comments, but I think he had to because Zadorov's under contract for 5 more years. Swayman's under contract for 7 more. They got to figure out how to get along. If Zadorov's even going to stay, and he hasn't had a great year. And
then he left. He went home, or they say it was a family issue, but who knows? Yeah, so he didn't play in the last game because of it. But I mean, these guys are clearly frustrated.
Right. They're not scoring beyond Geeky and Pasternak anyway.
And so it's it's the end of the season. Frustrations coming out. I don't think. I mean, should Swayman even be? I don't know. I mean, they're not going to let goalies fight, is what it comes down to. Anyway,
right.
So why even go through
rare,
the? I mean, it hasn't happened in. I think it was 2021 was the last time
really?
they fight. And before that, it was even.
I remember Thomas getting into one a long time ago.
Yeah,
and
that was probably 2011.
Yeah.
Or before that. So
I think
you're talking 12, 13 years ago.
Fought one time. I think Cheevers fought one time back in the 70s. Anyway, so but that's not the story of the Bruins season. The goalies won't fight. It's just disastrous. So
even when they play well, it's in very, very spurty and
is it? I think they're up to 29 now times that they've given up a goal with less than 2 minutes to go in a period or overtime. Really quick, Alex Ovechkin, 6 goals to go in about 13 games left, so it's not a guarantee that he'll do it.
Less games.
Less than that, like down to 10
they're down
maybe.
to 8. I think.
Okay, so
8 or 9.
Might not do it this year. Might be next year, but we'll see. We'll keep our eye on the Alex Ovechkin watch. So we want to thank you for joining us here in the Cheap Seats with Pat and Kevin. We will be back next week where I'm sure we'll talk a lot more Sox and a lot more hockey bracket and maybe some basketball hoops as well. But where else can you tune to some college hockey talk? But right here in the Cheap Seats with Pat and Kevin. Thank you so much. I hope you have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week on 1240 AM, 99.5 FM, and OneSocketRadio.com.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union